No, but I mean, I could have a life partner, but marriage.
Wait,
no.
why?
What's the difference?
Because men lose in marriage overwhelmingly.
What about? I mean, hit her with the prenup. Like,
well,
that's
maybe
like
you
a whole
guys, because
thing.
you guys might end up being the breadwinners in your relationships. Because I mean, you guys are high earners, but like the way that the court system is set up and the way the marriage laws are in most Western countries, no fault divorce, like it's women are incentivized for divorce. They're incentivized towards divorce. They get half, they get the money. So it's just, and then you get the government involved, then you got to pay for the lawyers. And it's just, why do we need the government involved in our love?
Well, from a woman's perspective though, like, I don't think it works in favor of women, because the older women get, the more, like, it sounds really crude, but like the more they depreciate, right? So like you could divorce your wife at 50 and then start all over and marry a 25-year-old girl and just be just fine. And even though she gets half of your money, she doesn't necessarily want to start all over, and she can't get like a 25-year-old guy. And if she does, he might just be in it for the money and he's going to leave her. Like, she can't, it's hard for her to find true love where it's not as hard for you. So I feel like that's the trade-off right there.
I mean, in the past, it made sense because women were not engaging in the labor pool as frequently as men are. But now, I mean, women are going to college. Actually, there are more women in college, and there are more women who are getting graduate degrees or undergraduate degrees. I think it's like 60-40 is the split in universities. So in today's day and age, women they're making their own money. They're getting their own bag. So the alimony laws are outdated, and there's a bias in the court system against men. So it's just a bad bet. And then you get divorced, and also women initiate like 80% of divorces.
Wait, is that a real statistic? Can we like fact check that? That's like, is that in the almanac or something? Like, I feel like that's a made up statistic, Brian.
No, I think it's real.
Women
initiate 80%. Like, how do you know who initiates?
Can I ask you? We can go around the table on this, and Jason, I will get back to your super chat on the first date thing. Of the breakups that you've had, would you say you've initiated that more, or has the guy initiated that more? Of the times you've had to either break up with someone or say, hey, I don't want to continue seeing you. So I guess that's not, because sometimes you've been seeing someone for 4 dates. That's not really a relationship where you're going to do a proper breakup. But of the times you've ceased a relationship of any duration?
I think it's been half.
Half?
I've only had like 4 relationships.
Okay. So 2 times you were dumped and 2 times you dumped them?
Yeah. Later, like,
Okay.
I feel like my last 2 relationships, I ended in like the beginning to they ended.
Okay. What about you, Jade?
No, I started the breakups, except for one.
Okay.
This one guy, like, fucked me up.
He fucked you up.
He was like very toxic. He wrote in a diary about like little tactics to do, like how to sleep with women. Yeah.
He had a diary?
He had a
Did
diary.
you read it?
I read it. I did read it.
Was
like,
it
when
hidden?
he was cooking. No, he left it on the table. It was like he wanted me to read it.
What the?
So I was confused.
Did it also have his body count, like his
Yeah,
his
every
bodies?
girl that he's dating, like he had like a list and comparison, and he would compare all the girls.
Oh, like all the girls he was dating at one time?
No, I think in his past, in his
Oh,
whole
just
like
like
past, and he had a whole diary.
Archiving that shit.
Yeah.
Okay, how many were there?
I would say there was like 4.
Oh, that's not. I thought it was gonna be like 50.
But like detailed, like paragraphs on each 4 and their
Wow.
characters and their personalities. Yeah, he was toxic. Yeah, it's all
Wow.
good.
God damn. Wait, so I mean, just I guess where I was going with this is that it's a bad bet for men to get married for a myriad of reasons, but one of those, it's more likely, women are more likely to initiate it. So.
But does that like, I don't understand why that, like, maybe it's because men later on in life, maybe they like cheat on their wives. Like, do you expect women just to like stay with their husbands after being cheated on? Like, maybe the man, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't really, I don't feel like that really says anything. That doesn't say that the woman's divorcing the man to get half his money.
No,
especially now
not
when you say that women
necessarily.
make their own money, right?
Not necessarily. Well, okay, I'll say this. So 50% of marriages end in divorce. 80% of divorces are initiated by women. I already said that. 90% of child support payments go from men to women. 97% of alimony payments go from men to women. it's a really bad bet for men. Like, you shouldn't enter into a contract with someone who's rewarded for breaking it. And by the way, I have a list here of some men who have been divorced.
You can sign a prenup though. You can like contractually like say, put these things on paper and still be, and still be part of still raise like a nuclear family, a traditional family.
Well, the issue with prenups is prenups can get thrown out. And very often, like, all the woman has to say, or I guess the man could say it too, if the prenup is kind of unfavorable towards him, I was under duress, I was pressured to sign it, and then it gets thrown out. I mean, I think with Dr. Dre, the prenup he had with his wife got thrown out, and he got took to the fucking washer. She took him for she wanted 6 figures a month in spousal support. It's just fucking, I mean, I know he's extremely wealthy, but shit's fucking crazy. So yeah, prenups get thrown up. Guys, I'm telling you, prenups are not ironclad. They can be maneuvered around. Even if you have a lawyer draft that shit up, they can still come after you. And also in some, I'm trying to think. In Canada, you're from Canada, right, Jade?
Yeah.
There was recently
Me
a
too.
case where, you're also from Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eric, I don't know if on the other window, you can pull it up. There was this case where this guy wasn't even married to a woman. It was just his girlfriend, super wealthy guy. They were living together, I think, just his girlfriend. And he had to, not married, he had to pay her after the breakup, not for child support, but support, because he was providing her with a certain lifestyle or some bullshit. So even if you're not married, guys, if you're in Canada, Canada's a lost cause, but no offense, Jade.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
Eric, pull up the article if you can find it. Something like Canada, man has to pay girlfriend, not married. I don't know. So try to see if you can
How
find
did
it.
she do that? She really finessed him.
Yeah, how did she do that?
Good for her.
No, bad
She
for
had the
bad.
best lawyers in the world.
Bad for him, good
probably.
for her.
that sounds like a really outlier case.
That is
because
It is an
Crazy.
outlier, but
if you're getting married though, I feel like if you're married, if I marry someone, my income becomes his income. You're a team. You can't see it as me versus them, or you're gonna take advantage of me. I feel like if you're really gonna be in a marriage, you have to see it as we do this for each other. There's no oh, I did this for you, you did this for me. It's just you guys are one unit.
okay. I mean, I'll give you that if you guys have, if your income potential or your earnings are commensurate, then sure. If you're a guy, I mean, there's some other downfalls too, because I mean, divorce, then the lawyers get involved. I mean, if your incomes are equal, you guys are probably going to still lose money, both of you, because you got to get the lawyers involved, and then so that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, if your girlfriend, your future wife, is going to be a breadwinner, or you're making the same amount of money, then there's less of a risk from the financial component. But it's still a bad.
Look at it
it's
as a
still bad.
business. It's love. It's marriage. I feel who hurt you, Brian? Are you who hurt you?
It's not about who hurt me. It's just the marriage is a partnership, and it's a financial one. I mean, there's other components to it, but there's a financial component to a relationship. And actually, most marriages, the leading cause, I think the main cause of divorce is financial issues. So, I mean, of course, I think the financial component to it is definitely important. I mean, love, that's cool, I guess. But, yeah, it's just, sure, if your girlfriend's making good money, then I guess, okay,
It's only
get
okay
married.
one way. It's only okay one way.
But if you're the breadwinner, then you have to make a more calculated decision about. Also, the thing is the only scenario where I would genuinely get married. Okay, what are the vows, right, that people say? Till death do us part. 50% of marriages end in divorce. That shit ain't death till you part. So people's words mean nothing. Till death do us part. That has to mean something. If I'm going to marry a girl, that shit's for life. There is no, I mean, yeah, I guess I could be divorced, but I would have to be so fucking certain that she's the one. And even then, shit changes, who knows what could happen. I'm sure most people, when they get married, they're not anticipating, yeah, we're probably going to be divorced in 3 years, you know? So, but I don't know, people's words don't mean anything. Like, if I say for life, me at least, I mean that shit. So, but I have a list here of some men who have been divorced.
Okay.
Is this like a random kind of thing, or like you just like you had people like, if you're divorced, like tell us why? Like, is this from a random generated pool or
Of men?
Yeah.
No, these are celebrities.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Like very high status men that if they're getting divorced, what chance does a regular guy stand? Brad Pitt, Johnny Depp, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Dr. Dre, Ryan Reynolds, Tom Brady, Lance Armstrong, Alex Rodriguez, Channing Tatum, Chris Rock, Ben Affleck, Chris Pratt, Liam Hemsworth, Ben Stiller, David Duchovny, Orlando Bloom, Tiger Woods, Sean Penn, Sylvester Stallone, Paul McCartney, Ryan Felipe, Jason Momoa, and Michael Jordan.
Those are not legit
All of those
like data points.
Some of those, first
They're
of all,
divorced though.
Yeah,
They're
but some of
celebrities.
some
But-
of those those guys did some pretty mean things to their wives. So obviously their wives are
I don't-
gonna.
well,
You're not gonna stand for that, you know. Like,
I mean,
just
most of
feel-
these guys are good guys. Some of them maybe.
How are you gonna say they're good guys and you only see the public perception of them? You don't know them
I
personally.
don't know. Brad Pitt's kind of a fucking legend in my
Bro,
book. But
Brad Pitt? Are you kidding me?
What do you mean?
Brad Pitt, like,
He's
there's literally like pictures of his ex-wife, like, absolutely shouting with joy, leaving her lawyer's office for like.
Cause she gonna get the bag.
Bro, because he's probably like crazy, bro. Like, what are
No,
you talking
honestly,
about?
and here's the other thing, like you got to worry about with marriage and like having children, is they can manufacture false accusations of child abuse, spousal abuse,
I'm sorry, I was
like,
talking crazy.
and they're gonna use that to as leverage in divorce proceedings and custody disputes. So, I guess I'm saying these names because these are very high status men. A lot of them are exceptionally attractive, wealthy. If high status, super good looking, high status men, wealthy men can't keep a woman, what chance does the fucking average guy have?
Because they're probably
I mean,
cheating on their
yeah,
women
I
all
mean,
the
like,
time. 'Cause
we're
they have
we're
access
saying
to
like
them.
things are superficial and stuff, and then you go back and we're like, we don't want anything superficial. But it's like behind everything else, behind being super attractive or super rich, you could also be really terrible, and that takes a toll on people. You know, like, I don't understand why somebody would just stay with a guy like, he's emotionally and mentally abusing me, but he's so hot and he's so rich. Like, no one realistically is going to do that.
I don't know.
And obviously their wives didn't, because they got divorced, or at least some of those people.
I don't know. My sense is that, yeah, maybe some of these guys, there was some infidelity going on, but,
But
come on, Brad
So-
Pitt, hello?
That just
Brad
shows
Pitt
that it's-
can't
yeah, that just
fucking
bro,
shows-
do
keep a
you
woman.
want to marry Brad Pitt so bad?
I-
Like, you're
you
like
know what?
dick riding him so
I
hard
would.
right now. You
Gay for
definitely
pay.
would. Honestly,
Brad Pitt, my DMs are open. You know what? I would have an asexual romantic relationship with Brad Pitt.
and would you marry him?
No sex,
Would you
but
marry
like
him?
I'd fucking be
Marry
his
him?
partner.
You marry him?
Would I what?
You would marry him?
Sure. And then if I
And then at
Well, he's
death
like-
do you guys part. You guys are just forever together.
Bro, I'm
Get
not
your
gonna-
graves
I'm not-
together.
I'm
like,
not
get
gonna
everything
front.
enshrined. Like, wow.
I'm not gonna front. Brad Pitt is hotter like than a lot of these chicks out here. I'm just gonna say it. Sus.